What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, and welcome to Season 3 of my career mode today here for the Australian Grand Prix. And starting off, we've had no driver transfers over the winter, so we're going in with the exact same team. So the best feature in this game we haven't seen being used coming into Season 3, so that's a real letdown. And yeah, why I didn't do a Season 3 preview as well. But here's the performance table then, heading into Season 3. We're now top ahead of McLaren. Mercedes have dropped down to third over the winter break, and Ferrari, of course, they're ahead of Alfa, Williams, Racing Point, Toro Rosso, and Renault are no longer bottom. Congrats to them, at least, for getting ahead of Haas. So maybe we'll see a resurgence in Renault this season. But yeah, there you can see everyone's in the same team. I was just had to double check just to make sure that there wasn't an email that didn't go through. But yeah, really disappointed to see everyone in the same team as the end of Season 2. I don't know whether that's because I hopped to two different teams over Season 2, so they just made their less transfers, or I don't know, unless it's for some reason off, or but yeah, we're heading into Season 3 and we have the same drivers as the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So heading into Australia then, we've got the so-called best car on the performance table. So is there a chance of pole position today? We'll have to find out how the pace is looking. But at the moment, we're currently down in P16. So yeah, at the moment, we probably could do a lot better than what we have done in this lap. Of course, Hamilton has gone quickest at the moment in the third best car on the table. Are we going to see another year where Mercedes is going to be dominating? Well, it doesn't actually look like it, to be honest, with ourselves and McLaren looking very strong as well. Ferrari and Alfa are just behind. So this could be a different season, perhaps. We hope, at least. Anyway, we're up on our previous lap time anyway as we head through Sector 1. A little bit of a mistake there on the exit of that corner, though. A little bit onto the grass, but that's not affected our time too much. We are improving still anyway. But yeah, at the moment, P16 definitely not where we should be. Our objectives are still P5, so we should be happy with that, to be honest. I mean, with the best car on the grid, we haven't done too well in Australia qualifying in the last couple of seasons. Last season, we actually binned it on our qualifying lap, ended up starting from the back and ended up having to drive through the pit field. So yeah, we've come around that anyway. We've done a little bit better than what we have done last season, but now there's a chance to do even better than what we did so far in this race, in this qualifying session. We come around the final corner then, and we're going to come across the checkered flag now, across the start-finish line to finish our lap. And where's this going to put us? It's actually going to put us into P5. Yeah, if you saw on the top left there, and then you can see on the bottom left, we're in P5 then for the Australian Grand Prix. Not the worst qualifying position to be in, but overtaking is not the easiest here as well. So you can see Max Verstappen starting 4th, Vettel 3rd, and then Norris 2nd. So yeah, there's 4 different cars in the top 4. The Sergio Perez doing quite well there as well. So Stroll out qualifying Weber. So yeah, interesting there. We've got 6 different cars in the top 7 in qualifying, so maybe there's going to be a even closer than expected fight for the top. So we head into the race then for the first race of Season 3 for the Australian Grand Prix, and it looks a lot closer than it did last season. So this could be an interesting season. It could be an exciting season we've got ahead of us at the moment, at least from now. It depends how some teams develop, depends how other teams develop. You know, we could see some teams do well and some teams fall back. But here's the grid order then for the first race of Season 3. You can see Hamilton starting it like he hopes to finish last season, alongside Lando Norris and Sebastian Vettel alongside Max Verstappen just ahead of us, and Perez in P6 ahead of Stroll, Bottas, Danny Kvyat doing quite well, Leclerc not so well, Weber ahead of Sainz, who's a little bit higher up for the Renault team. Butler will be disappointed ahead of Gasly, Russell, Magnussen, Ricciardo will be disappointed compared to his teammate in Giovinazzi, Hulkenberg, and I think that was Pierre Gasly at the back as well. So yeah, let's head on to the race then for the first race of Season 3 as we head for those 5 red lights to go away. Starting from P5, is there a chance for a win today? We'll find out as we head out for those 5 red lights here on for a very long time. And we're away now for the first race of Season 3, and a very good start from Sergio Perez heading towards Turn 1. You can see Stroll on the outside as well. We head down the inside and you can see we get pinched there on the inside. Perez making contact with Verstappen, and we ended up making contact with Stroll, and we got massive front wing damage to us already. Perez tried to dive down the inside of Verstappen, made contact with Verstappen, then made contact with us, and the safety car has been deployed already. So it's taken us just 3 corners of the season 3 to see the safety car deployed. And well, there you go. No idea what happened there. It was all very quickly. We got pinched into turn 1, and we saw Stroll ended up on the outside. So Stroll's been affected by that, as has Sergio Perez. He was spun round. Verstappen, I think he got away with that. So yeah, we're going to have to head back to the pits then and put on medium tyres. So already perhaps that could actually be a blessing in disguise, because we wouldn't even have to pit again, and everyone else is still going to have to pit. So there could be, well, we might have to be doing a bit of defending later on in the race if we can pit. Everyone else will have to come in later. We will have a bit of traffic though, which is the only problem. But that front wing damage has cost us a little bit here. But yeah, that's what it is. You know, there was nothing we could have done to avoid that, unfortunately, because yeah, we just had Perez on the inside, Stroll on the outside, Verstappen ahead of us, and then we just ended up running into the side of Stroll. But the safety car is out though, so it's going to bunch to pack up. Danny Kvyat is won out a lot from that. He started, I think, P9, and he's going to be up into P5 as well. So as when we come into the pits, so in the pits we go, and we're going to have a look at the replay in just a moment's time. We're going to come into this pit though and put on the medium tyres, and we're going to be well down the order. Whether anyone else has pitted though, yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else has pitted, so everyone else seems to have got away with that. Perez though, not so much. He's down in 19th place. So Stroll, I think, lost a few places, but yeah, not as badly as what Perez did. And here's the replay then. You can see we got a fairly decent launch, but then Perez just flew past us as we headed towards turn 1. You can see it's just a sort of pinch as he made contact with my teammate, and then we just sort of got pinched ourselves, and everyone else getting involved. Here's the onboard of Perez. He found the way past us into turn 1, but outbraking himself. Almost looks like he just made the contact with Verstappen, and that was him spun round. And yeah, unfortunately for him, he's down in 19th place now. But yeah, he ended up almost driving into the wall there. Here's the onboard from Stroll, just minding his own business going into turn 1. Almost got around the outside of Verstappen, to be fair. But there you can see we ended up making contact with him and sort of pushing him onto the grass. Sort of a victim of circumstance there was Stroll. We just really couldn't do anything about that. But the safety car is coming in now at the end of this lap, and we're down in last place. So we've got to get through this traffic as quickly as possible, although this track isn't the easiest for overtaking. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of effort to get past these guys. So yeah, here we go. On to start the restart then of this race. Green flag now, and we're away now in Melbourne for this first race. Moving on to lap 4, pretty much this is going to be the first racing lap on lap 4 in this career mode of season 3. But yeah, we're not ready to make a move on Sergio Perez. We head into turn 1. He's managed to stay ahead. Can we get a move on him into turn 3? Still looks a little bit too far ahead. So we're going to have to be patient here, whether we want to get past these guys as quickly as possible, because if those guys at the front can build a big enough gap, they could end up rejoining ahead of us, and they're going to be on fresher tyres anyway. So we're going to be not going to be in contention for a win. So if we want to win this race, we've got to get past these guys as quickly as possible, and that means getting past Sergio Perez now. He's got a bit of a poor exit. We've got a good exit out of that corner there, and but yeah, Perez looks to actually now be pulling away from us as we head towards the next corner. We try to dive down the inside, but think a little bit better of it, and end up going onto the grass, stick avoiding action. We thought Sergio Perez was going to turn in on us then, and he almost, he did, to be fair. So I ended up having to take avoiding action. We lost a bit of time there as well to Sergio Perez being impatient, and then almost losing the car completely on the exit of the 10-11 chicane there, and yeah, almost very lucky to come away with that still in this race. So got away with that one, and we lost a lot of time again. So it's been a really scruffy lap on safety car restart, and Hamilton leading the way with like 1:23.5 there from my teammate Max Verstappen. What kind of lap time have we done? It's going to be showing how quicker they were on that lap compared to us, and well, there you can see we crossed the line 1:27.1, so about 3.5 seconds quicker per lap than us. So yeah, we need to be a little bit quicker than that if we want to be able to win this race. And now we've got to catch back up to Sergio Perez and the rest of the pack. But getting past one car is fairly easy, but when there's a massive pack of cars, everyone's getting slipstream off each other, and you kind of just have to hope that you get a better exit or whatever. But when they get slipstream off each other, it's hard because they're getting a little bit extra speed, and then the extra speed that you're getting is not benefiting you and you can't get past them. So now heading into the place where we made that mistake last lap, trying to make the overtake on Sergio Perez. We're now caught back up to Sergio Perez, and he's now behind a massive train of cars as well, with the Hasses and the Renaults and the Toro Rossos all very close to each other. And I think I can see actually Stroll just a further ahead, and the better exit this time out of turn 11. And I thought Perez was actually going to turn in on us again there, but up into P19 we go then, down the inside of Sergio Perez, and now next target Nico Hülkenberg in the Haas. So yeah, he's not got the best car behind him this season, has Nico Hülkenberg, so he should be fairly easy prey. Lance Stroll, another victim of the turn 1 clash, which is probably Sergio Perez. I'm going to put it down as Sergio Perez's fault for running into the back of Max Verstappen, and then we ended up getting pinched by Perez and Stroll in the end. So you see that a lot in real life, to be fair, a little bit of 3 into 1. Well, not so much recently, but a fair few years ago there always used to be incidents into turn 1 of Australia, and now getting really close to Hülkenberg. But you can see there's cars ahead of us squabbling. I think that's Sainz and maybe actually Giovinazzi as well. So I think both the Renaults are squabbling ahead, just ahead of us. Yeah, that's slowing everyone down here, and you can see Hülkenberg now just ahead of us, and then you can see Stroll ahead of Hülkenberg, and we're getting very close, but it's just not many overtaking spots on this track, so we've got to pick the right point. Are we going to dive down the inside of Hülkenberg there? No, we're not. We're going to try and follow them again, and then coming up to where we overtook Perez on the last lap. So could we perhaps make an overtaking spot here? You can see Perez almost looking interested again. You can see 3 abreast there almost. You can see Lance Stroll, you can see Magnussen as well, so almost running into the back of Hülkenberg there, get a much better exit, and then you can see we're diving down the inside of Stroll. Are we going to try and take Magnussen too as we dive down the inside of him? Or do we get 3 cars in the space of a couple of corners? But Magnussen fighting back here, and now we head through the another corner, the fast right-hander, and we make contact with Magnussen, and round Magnussen goes. And yeah, we're going to have to look at a replay of that, because that was very close there. We almost run into one Haas and then ended up colliding with another Haas. So here we go, here's a replay. Kevin Magnussen, and you can see a Toro Rosso there. I think that's probably Pierre Gasly. He started a little bit further back out of the 2 Toro Rossos. Stroll trying to make a move on both of them there, but yeah, you see Gasly actually made it past the Haas, and then Stroll couldn't make it past. We made it past the other Haas though, Hülkenberg, and then Stroll, and then Magnussen as well. But on board Magnussen, we had a poor exit out of that corner. He had a much better exit, but turning in, yeah, we just had 2 cars into 1 there. And unfortunately for Magnussen, he ended up hitting the wall as well. So yeah, that was probably a racing incident. I think I don't really think that was too much of my fault. But now we're moving on to lap 7. We've managed to catch up to Carlos Sainz. He's the next car ahead of us, and now we're heading towards the pit stop window as well. So it's going to be a few cars into the pits. So we should see whether we are going to be leading this race then, or whether we're going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th, or whatever. But now Carlos Sainz is actually going quite slowly as well. So we need to get past him as quickly as possible if we don't want to get held up. But look how slow that Renault is on the exit of the penultimate corner, and now the DRS should be fairly easy prey in that Renault, which seems very slow and off the pace still already. But you can see Vettel and Hamilton almost running into Hamilton coming out of the pits there, as we had to try and overtake Sainz, used to defending from us. But there you can see Sainz ahead of Hamilton, so we've managed to end up ahead of Hamilton, who was the pole sitter. So is that good for us? We should find out over the next couple of laps whether we'll be leading this race, but there's still plenty of cars left to stop. I think my teammate's yet to stop. I think Lando Norris is yet to stop. He was running in 2nd off the start, but Sainz then holding up Hamilton, which could help us a lot, trying to build a little gap. But now Hamilton's actually managed to get past Carlos Sainz, so I think maybe Sainz had a bit of an issue because he's going very slowly, and the fact that Hamilton's got past him already must indicate that something's wrong with that Renault already. So now currently in P10, with just 9 cars ahead of us yet to stop, and there's a good chance of winning this race then as we head through turn 10 and turn 11. There's well, now we've got just halfway through this race and a few more cars yet to stop. We should see well, teammate is in the pits now, so he should be fighting around Hamilton sort of pace, so we should be seeing whether Hamilton is well, Verstappen can get ahead of us, or whether he'll end up being behind us and Hamilton as well. So Lando Norris is still carrying on, as you can see on the mini-map there on the bottom left of your screen. So whether he will be a threat to us, we'll have to wait and find out until he comes in. But we come across the line and we're ahead of Max Verstappen. So up into P2 we go, and perhaps Carlos Sainz holding up Hamilton there, as perhaps, well, actually Verstappen end up being quite close to well, he's actually ahead of Hamilton. So Carlos Sainz holding up Hamilton has led to Verstappen getting ahead up to third. But now, as you can see, we've moved on to the next lap, and Norris is behind us now. So Norris is down in second. So we've actually managed to gain on Lando Norris there, and we're leading this race in for the Australian Grand Prix, and exactly where we wanted to be. But the question is whether we can keep hold of this lead now. Lando Norris is on the hard tyres as well, so he's obviously going to have the fresher tyres, but of course they're not going to be the quickest tyres as well. So I don't know why he's actually gone for the hard tyres when there's probably mediums available, particularly when he's pitted later than everyone else as well. But yeah, AI logic on this game, not the best. But now we've got just 5.5 laps left to go on this first race of the season. What a way this would be to start the season with a win and to lead the championship as well. But exceeding track limits there, we've got to be a little bit careful about that. We don't want to end up with a penalty, considering we're just a couple seconds ahead of Lando Norris at the moment. I think we're just about 1.6 seconds ahead of Lando Norris. You can see on the minimap he's just behind us, so we can't afford to make too many mistakes yet. And we're trying to pull out a gap to Lando Norris, and we run wide as well on the penultimate corner, and still trying to keep hold of this lead as these tyres are going to start going off eventually, and Lando Norris is going to be perhaps closing in on us. But yeah, we've got 5 laps to go. 1.4 is the gap. Can Lando Norris take the lead away from us on these tyres? We've got older tyres as well. We've had to fight through traffic, which hasn't helped them too much as well. Verstappen, he's in third, so it's a good race for Red Bull so far. I mean, the qualifying wasn't the best, 4th and 5th, but the race pace, we looked very strong, although Hamilton has just slapped us in the face with that, and he's gone into 3rd place. So Verstappen losing out there. We set the purple first sector, so now we can start to pull away. Now the gap's gone up to 2.1 seconds there, so we're leading this race quite well now, and we just need to put in a good lap and just stay ahead of Lando Norris. So it's looking good now at the moment in this race. If we can keep up this pace, this should be our win for us. So I mean, again, overtaking is not so easy on this track, so we should be able to win this race and hopefully keep hold of this win. Again, 2.1 seconds through sector 2, so it's looking good at the moment in this race. Hamilton in 3rd, a long way back, so it looks like it's going to be between myself and Lando Norris at the moment. So if Lando Norris has got any pace, he needs to show it now, otherwise this race could be ours for the taking, unless we make mistakes like that going onto the gravel again. But come around the final corner to end this lap, we are now having a 2.1 second gap over the last couple of sectors. So crossing the line, we look behind us, and Lando Norris isn't very close. So now moving on to lap 13, he's 1.9 seconds ahead of us. So we've got 3 laps to go, and the gap to Lando Norris is just about 2 seconds. So the gap's not changed too much over the last couple of laps, and now we just need to focus on these last 3 laps of this race, bring it home, and we should be fairly home and dry, fairly comfortable with that win. And a great way to start the season that would be, after a good end to last season as well, to carry on that format we had last season into this season. And Red Bull looking very strong as well, so definitely thinking about the championship at this point in this season. Definitely think we can compete for it, because last season Mercedes was still too strong, even when we were in an Alpha that was quite good at the start of the season, although it did drop off as well towards the end of the season at Alpha, but that was after we left it as well. But making a mistake here, and we spun off, and that's not going to do us any favours in trying to win this race. And yeah, just throwing away the win just like that, and down to 3rd we go, 4th now, and that's going to be 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and going from 1st to 9th just with one spin like that. That's a huge disaster for us. That's a massive mistake that's cost us big time. Hamilton, though, it's out of the race, so it's all kicked off on lap 13. Very unlucky for us too. And up into P8 though we go. So 2 podium places have just changed just like that. Here's a replay then of what happened. We go through turn 10 and turn 11 and then onto the grass, and just like that mistake we made earlier chasing Sergio Perez, we've done it again in the lead. A very costly error, and one that's thrown away the race win for us. So that's definitely not going to do us too many favours if we want to win the championship this season. But through go all those cars, agonisingly watching them go through. And then here's a replay again on board with myself, and then we just run wide, and yeah, at that point we're a passenger. Couldn't keep it pointing in the right direction, and when we just had to spin it around, Hamilton flies past there, and here's the onboard of Hamilton. He's probably thinking, oh yes, P2, I've gained another place there, I'm happy with that. And then yeah, this ends up happening, so P2, yeah, get in. And then just as you can see, looking at the back of his engine, and then you can probably hear, oh no, no, and Hamilton is out of the race. Through goes Vettel, and then through goes the pack of cars led by Verstappen. So Verstappen must have a little bit of a problem there. He was running in third, but now he's got a massive trade of cars, including myself now. So it's just 2 laps to go. Can we regain any of these positions with Butler ahead of us? And now you can see it looks like Bottas has got past Verstappen. It looks like Danny Kvyat is trying to get past Verstappen too. We're trying to get past Devon Butler, who's trying to make up positions, and we make contact with Butler as well. And we're not going to be too happy about that. I don't know what Butler was doing there. He just made contact with us, and we dived down the inside. I remember last season we had many issues with McLarens at the start of the season. It looks like we almost had an issue with Devon Butler there, but up into P7 then. So damage limitation at this point. You can see Verstappen still holding up Danny Kvyat and Charles Leclerc though. So with just 1.5 laps left to go, there's still a chance for P4 here in this race. And now you can see Danny Kvyat chasing Max Verstappen through this corner where we made the mistake last lap, which threw away the win for us. Now DRS is wide open. Can we get past Charles Leclerc and take hold of P6, or we're going to take hold of P5 as well. We dive down the inside of Danny Kvyat and trying to make waste no time and trying to get past these guys and keep hold of P4, because surely Verstappen's going to be easy prey, because I don't know what's happened to Verstappen, but he's lost a lot of pace. You can see he's holding up the Williams, the Ferrari, even the McLaren of Butler as well. So we're going to get past Verstappen fairly easily. He goes to the inside, we go to the outside. You can see actually there he's got a bit of front wing damage, so that's probably slowing him down a lot as he drops back a lot there. You can see he's holding up Leclerc now, so it's going to be P4 at the moment unless we make another mistake on this lap. But the podium's gone from myself, Lando Norris and Hamilton to Lando Norris, Vettel and Bottas in just a couple of moments there. So Bottas, I don't know where he was, but he gained a lot of positions. I think he was probably P6 when all that kicked off. He got past Verstappen and then he got past Hamilton and myself. So Bottas in dreamland there, a very good lap 13 for him, getting past all those guys. And now it looks like we're going to have to settle for P4 in this race. Leclerc's got past Verstappen, so just when it was looking so good for Red Bull, double podium finish, now there's going to be no Red Bulls on the podium. But we only have ourselves to blame really. Verstappen's probably made a mistake somewhere, we've made a mistake, a huge mistake somewhere. But Lando Norris getting a win for McLaren, so McLaren looking very strong. Lando Norris as well looking very strong. He didn't look so strong in qualifying last season. It was Devon Butler that was pretty much carrying McLaren for the majority of that season. Lando Norris making no good time in the qualifying last season, but this season he qualified second and managed to win the race. A very hectic race though. More like this, I think it would be very interesting this season. But yeah, we go crossing the line in P4, and then actually a very disappointing P4, gaining 1 position though off the start. But yeah, it's a good sign though. It'll take a lot of positives out there. And Zach Brown looking like he's been animated from a PS2 day. He looked like it was very poor, the graphics there. But here we go, at the end of the race then. Lando Norris coming out, Vettel in second, Bottas third. A very unusual podium there. After how the grid looked anyway, but Vettel and Bottas will be happy with that one, but us, myself, Hamilton, Verstappen, not so much. But here we go, here's the results. You can see Butler finished 9th, Ricciardo finished 10th for Racing Point. So despite Racing Point looking quite strong as well, Ricciardo managed to recover a point after Perez's mishap in turn 1. Stroll and actually Alfa Romeo didn't even score. So yeah, Alfa, Renault and Haas failing to score. I think Toro Rosso managed to score some points as well. So Toro Rosso looking quite strong, but surprised to see Alfa Romeo struggling so badly. But yeah, there we go. That's going to be the end of the episode there, guys. Though I hope you enjoyed the first race of season 3. Hopefully there's going to be more races like that in this season, and I'll see you very soon for the Bahrain Grand Prix, hoping to improve off of that result. But anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.